Hi there, welcome again to our science review. After discussing the nervous system, we are here to discuss the next system of our body, and that is the urinary system. So, we need to identify the parts and functions of the urinary system. It is somehow part of our excretory system because it also excretes some moist materials inside our body. And because there are so many various lab processes that change the amount of water in our body, so some of them we need to consider. These are the organs of the urinary system. The main organ, that's the kidney, which is located at each side of our spine at the level of our liver. The kidney composed of three regions, and those are the renal cortex, which is the outer covering or outer layer of the kidney, followed by the inner layer, which is called the renal medulla in this portion. And the third region is the renal pelvis, wherein it is the one that carries the urine out of the kidney down to your ureter. So inside the kidney, there are some functional units that filters the blood and expel waste products, and we call it the nephrons. The nephrons compose of different parts. This is where you can find the nephrons, and inside it there are some parts. So I want you to look at this. We have the Bowmans capsule, the PCT, the lipid panel, and the DCT plus the collecting duct. So one by one. First is the Bowman's capsule. So it is cup shaped and it is the one that receives the blood from the blood vessel. This is where the glomerular filtration occurs. So the blood cells and the protein will remain in the blood, and the excess and those things, materials that are not needed anymore by the body, will now pass through another part of the nephrons. So this is what it looks like, the Bowman's capsule, and how it works in filtering the blood coming from the blood vessels. The second part is, so this is the Bowman's capsule connected to another part, which is the proximal convoluted tubule. Water and reusable materials from the blood are now reabsorbed back to it. Again, the water and some reusable materials that still needed by our body will still be part of the blood, and it will be reabsorbed. Inside it, I want you to look at the animation composed of some mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell, and some of the microvilli to make it work. The third is the lupopenal. In this area, this is where the urine becomes concentrated as the water we absorb. So water from it will be removed. What will be remaining, or what will remain, is our urine. Then it will goes down to your lupopenal. The fourth part after the lupopenal is the distal convoluted tubule. It is where the kidney hormones cause their effect. So at the fifth portion, that's the collecting duct. The collecting ducts together form the renal pelvis. Through the renal pelvis, the urine passes into the ureter, then into your bladder. So that would be the last part of your nephrons. Now we're done inside the kidney and how they filters the blood, use up the materials, and even excrete the not needed materials. So therefore, in this part, this is the ureter. It is a thin muscular tube that carries urine from the kidney down to your bladder. And of course, the bladder or the urinary bladder, it looks like a sack wherein it gets all the urine, collects all the urine, and then ready to release. The bladder receives the urine. This is how it receives the urine from the ureter. This is the ureter. The urine passed through it, and then, therefore, the urine will stay here for a while. And then it will send message to the brain that you need to excrete the urine if it is already full. So the level of placement of the bladder is somewhat different from or differs from in men and in women. Lastly, the ureter. After the urinary bladder releases the urine, it will move down to the ureter, the urethra. The urethra is a tube that arises from the urinary bladder. And those are the different parts of the urinary system, including the main organ, that's the kidney, connected to the ureter, down to the urinary bladder and the urethra. Thank you for listening. See you again next review. Bye bye.